after your entrepreneurial endeavors, are we at the basement yet, or do we still have more
No,
jobs?
we're still not there. Actually, I should preface this to that. I have known the folks at the basement. I knew the founders
Yeah.
for probably about a decade. So I did my master's degree. I did an internship with them. Then when they were with another agency, they split off. They had me do some motion graphics, some After Effects work for them at one point, and kind of asked me to join them. And I was like, no, I'm going to do this thing over here. And so when I was at the Children's Museum, I then hired them to do some projects for me, just because I had that personal connection and I loved the work they did. I loved the culture. And I would say secretly along the way, I always thought, oh man, I missed the boat. I should have joined these guys, when I had the opportunity. But the neat thing was I still have my knapsack on. I'm still collecting all these cool little things, and I don't think I would have been able to give as much value to them as I do right now. So it was those little experiences along the way that, even though they're not super positive, you learn from them, you grow, you pick up, okay, this is how I want to do it. With teaching, here's how I want to mentor. With the early looking at the software and the entrepreneur thing, yeah, I do like software design. I understand this. I love working with engineers and developers. I need to work more on contracts and understanding a little bit better. So from there, I went to a software company, a wonderful company called Perk, and that is where I really dug in my heels with the whole concept of working in an agile environment, splitting my time between 3 different development teams, doing stand-ups, going through just the nitty-gritty of here's how you point a story, and here's how you participate, and here's how you go from the whole process of explaining to somebody of like, here's the discovery, here's what I hear you saying, Mr. Stakeholder. But first of all, I'm going to do my due diligence and make sure that we're solving the problem that needs to be solved.
Yeah.
And then start going through the design process along with that. So that was huge for me as well. And that has served me well from there. Then did Perk for about 5-6 years, had an opportunity to do a little bit more consulting. Again, grew more, was able to start leading some design teams. In Perk, I actually went from being the sole UX designer to being the UX manager, architect, probably within like 2 years.
That's
we
awesome.
Went from 1 person to 6 people.
What do you think allowed you, because that's a very common question that we ask other people that are, have kind of made twists and turns throughout their design career. How do you make that jump, right? From going from I hear a lot that designers kind of fall in a routine and they kind of plateau. How did you take that step up to start taking on more responsibilities, managing a team, managing a bigger scope? Any advice to get to that point?
Yeah, it kind of, again, goes back to that humble approach to things, and thinking of yourself as a mentor versus a manager. Early on I got really bad advice, the old school way of managing people, and I just learned from being in these different situations that wasn't for me. And as managing creative people, you're better off mentoring creative people. So it's having casual conversations with folks. It's understanding where they want to go in their career path, and then helping them and equipping them and moving them forward in that, and giving them opportunities. So I'm constantly asking folks, hey, you've been working on this design system now for a couple months. Are you ready to hand it off to somebody and get some relief? Do you want to tap out and let somebody else take over? Because I've got some other opportunities if you want to do some more research, if you want to do some more design, some more concepts. So it's just listening to folks and looking for opportunities to support them. And I think that's the biggest thing is you have to remove yourself from being in the forefront. Some people like to lead at the front. Some people like to lead at the back. I like to lead at the back. I like to give them opportunities and say, hey, here's something really cool. We had a conversation the other day at lunch, and you talked about how you've never done a prototype for mobile. So we've got this client coming up, and I would love you to take the lead on this project. And I'll be right there behind you and help you out.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, I'm hearing a few things. I'm hearing empathy. I'm hearing be approachable. I'm hearing also find the right way to challenge people. I think is a really that's great advice. Like sometimes like being a plateau in a lot of ways is that your comfort. You're doing the same thing. You're not taking on like something like doing a a discipline that you're not typically that you haven't done in the past. So that's super cool. I think that's very relatable. Like I've had different times in my own career when it's kind of felt like, you know what, I like that there's the metaphor of letting go of one vine. So you're in that air for the split section before you can grab onto the next vine and kind of keep swinging. So that totally resonates with me.
Yeah, that's the hardest transition, especially for someone who's creative, which is giving up the limelight and letting somebody else step into that for you and saying, hey, you know what, we all get projects that come across our desk and we're like, yeah, this is going to be the most awesome project ever. And then you're like, oh, yeah, this person, this junior UX person underneath me has not had a chance to do this, and this. So I'm going to put them on it. And I may sneak in a few designs just to kind of see where the temperature is. But, let them design, let them, get this moving forward and get some experience on that. Because it just makes the whole team so much stronger. So that you know that when you really do get that crucial project, you can give it to anybody, and you can split it up, and everybody can feel that they have a voice in it.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Thank you for listening to today's episode of Design Huddle. The opinions expressed are solely our own and do not express the views or opinions of our employer.